Okay, another week. Another week has begun, and I am streaming again. I am keeping it short today, and I've got a few design things to work on. That's all there really is to it. I have been busy already today. I didn't have time to do a full color drawing. I just drew this old ghost thing. So that's the state of things at the moment, but I hope to nevertheless do a reasonable stream, and I'm gonna have fun with that. So here I go. All right, 1 second. It's always fiddling with the windows on my phone here. Or the apps, I should say. All right. Okay, so I'm trying to think of where I should start, because I have to explain what I did on the weekend and what I learned about my desk design, which is what I'm going to be working on again. So actually, it'll be kind of fun to diagram something out. Oop. It's upside down for some reason. Huh. Well, okay. There we go. Okay, so here, allow me to switch this scene over, and I'll just start drawing my little explanation here. So off I go. Okay, so what should I use here? Pencil? Yeah, let's do the Procreate pencil. Beautiful. This program is pretty good. You can change up the pencils and stuff like that, edit the settings for them. It's a lot of fun. I'm distracted already. Let's just cancel that. We don't need to do that anyway. All right, so what I did over the weekend was play around with wire. This is welding wire from the shop. They have automatic feed MIG welders, and I took a little bit of wire from one of the machines, and I used it to experiment with tessellated, loosely speaking, shapes where the base unit is these triangles. So I did two things. The first thing I did was take a wire, cut it to length, and then bend it here like this, and then here around again, and then a third bend like that, and I bent them in such a way that this point and this point ended exactly next to each other. So what it looked like at the end was something kind of like this. So there's the gap here, and there's the bend radius left on each of those corners there. Additionally, so I actually have a sample of that I can show, and I discovered building it. Give me 1 second to grab it. This I was holding in front of the mic like you would be able to hear it or something. That's ridiculous. So this was my attempt at bending the wire into these little triangles, and then this is solder, and trying to just solder them together. And you can see, here in particular, there's significant gaps here, and this little experiment just kind of, it felt to me like this wasn't the right way to go with assembling these triangles, because controlling the bend was quite difficult. Getting the appropriate length of the edge of a triangle was tough, and holding it in place to connect it was all a bit of a challenge. So I went back to, I tried a different idea, which is much simpler. So this is idea 1, and idea 2 is extremely simple. You just cut wires to specific lengths like that, and then connect them here, and here with solder joints, and then you can build a structure one joint at a time. So what this allowed me to do, I thought this would be slower, but it actually turned out to be both more reliable and faster. So using what I learned there, I'll show you what I actually made in just a moment, but this little experiment kind of taught me that this approach here, approach number 2, where you would cut everything to a straight edge or a straight length and then attach them at the nodes, would be the way I actually do want to design or assemble my desk. So that leaves today's work to be designing the nodes. And so let me now show the little sample of what I managed to make. So I made this thing. I'm pretty proud of this. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this. It's all solder joints and straight cuts of wire. There's no bent or angled pieces on this at all. I mean, aside from the natural curve in some of the wire. So I managed to get this done. This is a trident from the game Hades. I've been playing that game a lot and just figured it'd be kind of cool to pull a symbol from it and design this. So this was tons of fun to do. But even this had some issues with it. In particular, it was hard to hold. I had no jig or anything. I was just kind of free-handing the whole thing. So to solder things together, you have to hold 2 pieces in place, and that can be a challenge. So my design for the day is going to be an idea I had to try and mitigate the node connection challenge. As you can see, this works fairly well, but this took a long time, and my desk has more and bigger structural stuff to build. So I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours doing all of that. So I'm going to try come up with basically a node connection piece that per node you can count. So it'll be much easier to prepare all of the parts. I can make the nodes, and I can make the straight edges, and I could just number them all, and then basically put it all out, connect it loosely on a flat, and then just just tack weld everything, and then go for a final weld pass, and then so I think that'll be a better approach. And I learned and had that idea while working on this thing. So I am extremely happy with this. It turned out really quite nice for the for the first time I've ever done anything like this. I just had to kind of make up how I was doing it as I went. Burnt my fingertips a few times on the soldering iron, but you know, that's no pain, no progress or something like that. Anyway, it was a ton of fun. And this piece is pretty cool. So all in all, a worthwhile little endeavor. So I'm gonna draw my little idea for the node design here, and I'll then get to it from there. I wonder if I could, there. there's the piece halfway on display. It looks silly, but I wanna showcase it. So, all right. So let me. I'll just kind of verbalize and draw out the idea I had for the node connections, and then I'll get to designing that, and that'll probably be all I do today. Gotta head out to the gym a little earlier, so that's that. All right. So the node piece, it can have any number of rod pieces coming in, all of which come from their own nodes. So the node data points will basically be some point and some P1, P2, P3, or something along those lines. It might just be 4 points and the first or the last. I don't know. I'll figure that out. The setup of that doesn't matter yet. The design idea is basically this. Each rod is going to be some radius, and they're all going to be the same, so I only have to put that in there once. And then this. And oops, that was a weird way to draw that. So what you can do theoretically is there's some close, you can get every rod butted exactly up against it here, but I want to go a little bit further back than that. I want to do a this drawing is horrible. Let's clean that up a little bit. Yeah, you know what, okay, so let's start it over, because why not? This is the exact meet point of, let's say, 3 parts. So this is one node where the edges come in. What I want to do is basically produce a flat steel cut shape that kind of goes like this. And then it has either etched on there, or I just write it with marker or something like that, some number to indicate the node number, and then the edges will be also, I guess they could also be numbered. There's no reason that they shouldn't be. And so you get 1, 2, 3 like that. And then basically all you do is, well, you put that on your workbench, and then the rod sits inside here, and then you just weld, and weld. And then you do this for, you just propagate the all of the nodes out, right? And then you'll have your piece. So this shape here, I think I want to have basically be, so the idea is the blank of it is, I don't know, 0.75 inches, something like that. And probably I want to go, let's say a quarter or 0.2. Let's try a 1/4 inch inward. So that leaves you with, if you have a 1/4 inch like that, you have a 1/4 inch inner hub that is solid metal. And the thing is about this, because it's a somewhat randomized grid, it's not an even grid, I can't mass produce these. I have to produce them all uniquely. So I'll need basically a function that takes the orientations of the incoming edges and draws the node shape appropriately. So this function and this design are basically what I'll be working on today. I think that's pretty reasonable. So enough of the drawings. I think I would like to go ahead and get some code going. See if I can make it all work. Alright, so the little drawing mitt can come off. Feel a little ridiculous putting it on, but it does feel nicer drawing on a touchscreen that way. I also have this thing still sitting here. All right. Oh, lost it. Okay. So not sure why my keyboard shortcuts aren't working, but oh well. Oh yeah, this was how I managed to design this thing. I ran it, I used the Delaunay triangulation. I drew it on my iPad, I simplified the shape, and then I did a Delaunay triangulation and marked any, or sorry, before I did a triangulation, I made a randomized grid over the bounding box and filtered for any points that were inside the shape, and then I triangulated it. And so the triangulation algorithm, as you can see, doesn't cut the triangles away because I haven't implemented that, but I was able to use this fine, transfer it to a piece of paper, and then put that on a sort of, well, I used cardboard, and I used that to place all of these and solder them all together. So that was a little bit of the work there. Oop. Right, so now I can figure this out a little bit here. So let me get back to this desk, clean up my windows here, get them all sorted the way I need. Desk. Okay, here we go. It's a little confusing perhaps, but should be fine. This REPL I don't need. So there we go. All right, let me see what's what. Excuse me. Okay, so this art component I probably should have put in its own thing, but it was just a quick one-off, so I didn't bother to do that. This should, indeed it does. Sweet. Okay, so as you can see, this desk has a bunch of triangles as part of its design. So like I said, the nodes are going to be my focus here. So the nodes can clearly have a bunch of connections in. This particular node here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inbound edges. So those hubs have to be able to accommodate up to the largest number in there, right? It's all possible, but it's something I have to really focus on. So I think what I'll do is start by, I'll make a component that I can put up here, and I'll make it a little, basically an extruded disc that's at the 0.75 inches that I was kind of anticipating, and then just experiment with extrude cuts to try and dial in the proper shape of it. So in order to do that, I have to think about how I want to proceed. Well, let's start. Let's just start nice and easy. Let's also zoom this out to its normal spot here. Let's do, you know what, I don't need it to be at the top. I'll just do it at the bottom like a normal man. This component, what should I make? Node isn't a function already, is it? Okay, good. So I'll call it the node component. And then components. Essentially, I want to make another little component here. Node component. It's not a function, it's just a thing. It's just data. My goodness. Right, so let's put a let object be, yeah, we'll do it that way. Time for some bot reporting here. Spam. Is okay, we're good. We're good. Oh, also have to Okay. All right. Should be good. Hopefully that's okay. And those little spam things are unfortunate, but hey, that's the way it goes. Okay, so this this component is going to be some object. I'm actually just gonna make it slash. Let's do a polygon. Let's give it a radius of 0.375, right? Yeah, that's half of 0.75 inches. That's the radius, and the number of edges I'm gonna make 32, just so it'll look like a circle for now. And that'll be good enough for what I need, I think. Then with that done, I want to do extrude. And I want the thickness of it to be, technically it won't matter too much. Probably it's going to be a 1/8 thick plate or a 3/8, which is, what is 3/8 again? Is it 375? Yeah. Oh, it's the same thing. That was silly of me. Yeah, so if I extrude it, I think that's probably, no, 3/8 is too big. What am I thinking? Let's extrude it 0.1875, which is the diameter of the rod pieces I want to use. So I'll just make it flush for now. That might change depending on steel availability, but I'll be okay with that. So I extrude that polygon, and that should be done. So that's the object, and then to render it, put it in a drawing. Excuse me, 400 by 300, scale size 10. Should be okay, and shape. I don't need the axes necessarily, so I can skip that, and I'll make the object rendered here with shape slash render curves. Oh, and the transform I'll make isometric, and the style element, same thing, the stroke will be black. Okay, that's the node element. It should show up, I think I put it at the end, right? Should be a valid piece. No. Oh, I goofed already. Let's see, what's wrong? Let's have a look. I don't need all the scripts. What did I mess up now? What did I just miss? Broke something already? Huh. Let's have a look here. What did I mess up? Surely something. Let's have a little pecorino here. Polygon. Oh, yes, of course. I always mix up. So I have the regular polygon points function, which makes a set of points. And then you have to wrap that in the polygon shape builder, basically. And that's what I keep forgetting. That's just my bad, that's all. Okay, so that's actually an easy fix. So instead of this, I do that, and then here I do regular polygon points with those arguments. And now that should work. I believe that should be fine. Yes. Page is slow. That's a little weird. It's, oop, something flickered on there. It might be calculating something it doesn't need to. Yes, that's gotta be Scratch, right? This here, let's just comment that out entirely. Have a look at that, see if that helps. It's also, yeah, okay, there we go. So there's the cylinder. It's a little zoomed out, but I can fix that nice and easily. So this scratch thing, I'll just keep that closed for now. This is what I'm looking at. Let's bring that zoom in quite a bit, 4 times bigger, or maybe even bigger. There, okay. So that is I have to think for a minute about how I want to proceed here, because I just realized I don't actually have, well, okay, never mind. Let me do the next thing, which is here, define node. Node is maybe a bad name for a part, but I'm gonna leave it because it doesn't, there's only node component, which is totally fine. Okay, so I'll go with node. So if I define node, it's basically gonna take what's the right way to do this? I could have it be I could have it assume that the node's position is at 0, 0, and then it takes points of all of the lines, so the opposite end of every line that's going into the node. So if there's 7 lines going in, it's just 7 points. And then if there's, oh, excuse me, I'm quite tired, apparently. Yeah, I think that makes sense. It's pretty reasonable to do it that way. So I'll take Yeah, so it'll just take points. And I'll just have a little note here. Creates a node part at 0, 0, 0. All points are ends of edges whose first point begins at 0, 0, 0. Sure, that's pretty good. It's a little confusing perhaps, but I understand what that means, at least for the time being. So, yes, I know. Okay. I'm quite tired today. It was a long weekend for me. A lot of fun, but, you know, gotta find that sleep time somewhere. And normally I like to pay attention to my sleep because it's very important, but sometimes it gets away on you. This thing took a long time. But that is worth it, in my opinion, so not a big deal. Let's check this. So if I have a bunch of points coming in, right, I have, and it's guaranteed to be at 0, 0, or guaranteed, it's assumed to be at 0, 0. Actually, wait a second. Is that the smart thing to do? Yeah, you know what? I'll start with that because I could map some other, like I could always map a translation outside of this function. This function, I'll do it kind of the easiest or like the most clear way and then go from there. So this needs essentially right, so I'll start even easier with things here. If I do f/ regular, oh, oop, not what I meant to do. Regular polygon points, R1 radius, or radius 1 and 32 points, right? They're 3D points. That's good. So here, should I call it a node or should I call it a hub? Let's call it a hub instead. That actually is a better, it sounds more mechanical in nature, which is what it is. Whereas node is more mathematical or computer sciencey. It's a little too confusing. So hub's fine. Hub's good. So with the hub, hub sketch is what I'm trying to build here. So creates a sketch of a node or hub part. There we go. Hub. There. Made the same mistake again. Okay, so yeah, everything's good. So I'll just make this, I'll start really simple with this. I'll just draw a bunch of things out on the screen. So the first things I want to do will be, let's see, group. I want to group everything by doing we'll start with even, we'll go this way, we'll do it this way. Into G, can do it all in one line probably, map, yeah, svg slash line, right, from 0, 0, 0, or 0, 0 in this case, to take 2 of the points, because there are 3D points coming into this. No, are they? Let's assume they are. I'll just leave it that way. That should be okay. So the line's first point is 0, 0, and then the other point is the point from the points. So I map that over points, and then put that into a group tag, and that creates a group of all the points going to the hub middle point, right? That's the easiest thing to test at first. So the hub component, instead of rendering this, what I'll actually do first is produce. So eventually there will be a function, or eventually this function, hub sketch, will be what I call here, and the object will be rendered appropriately. In the meantime, I am, excuse me, going to comment that part out and just produce I'm going to thread last the results of hub sketch, and I'm going to call it with some set of points, which I'll make in a minute, and I'm going to run that through. So it already produces a group tag. All I need to do is svg style element that, and that'll just be stroke black is fine for now. I don't technically even need to do that. I don't know why I'm doing it that way actually. Let me just do it this way. Hub sketch 1, 2, 3, 4 points to test with. There we go. I'll do -1, 0, 2, 3, -5, -2, and -3, -4. That's fine. It doesn't need to be that important. And here all I need to do is just thread last all of this business. Oh, I can actually do this a little bit differently. I'll thread points into this map function. Oops. Yeah, and then into G. Okay. I think that'll work. What I expect. Ooh, that didn't work. Oh, of course, because I still, even though I changed this, I didn't actually style it. Style element. Each of those lines will be styled with stroke black. That should be good. Yes. Okay. So that is indeed correct. Right? Yep. Beautiful. So now with that, I can now create the next thing on the, I'll just render the next piece, in fact, which will in fact be inside here. So all of these are just going to get grouped into a G tag for simplicity. The next component is just svg/circle, and the radius of that is 0.75. Oops, 75. Oh no, to be consistent, I actually am going to do svg/polygon of map v take 2 from the list that's resulting from f/regular polygon points with 0.375 radius and 32 edges, so it's an approximation of a circle using 32 straight edges. Yeah, that should be good. I also once again forgot. I don't know why I don't think to do this right away, but sometimes it's how it goes. f/regular polygon points 375 32 map v, can just do map, take 2 from that whole thing, svg/polygon that, svg/style element, stroke, slate gray or gray, I don't remember. Okay. Oh, what did I mess up now? It didn't work. Or maybe it did. Fill, do I have to explicitly unfill it? Ah, there we go. Okay. Right, so that is the hub size, and these are the rods that come in at that node. The next thing to do, realizing one little potential flaw here, but I'll get to that later. It should be okay. What I should do actually is also produce another one of these. These are just guides. They won't necessarily be a part of the final. I'm just using them to kind of set up the base and then build out the function from there. So this here, I'll just make it BBB, I guess. Ooh, excuse me. It's going to be the same thing, another circle, but with a smaller radius. Okay. Is that right? Oh, no, it has to be 125. There. Okay, so the diameter of that inner circle is a 1/4 inch, which leaves a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch for all of these other things. What I'm a little concerned about is whether or not that'll actually be enough room for everything, or if things will actually end up colliding. If there's collisions when you insert the rods, I have to make the radius of the hubs bigger, which I don't necessarily love, but I just also had another little thought that they don't actually have to stay circles. They could be, I could slice them out, like I could cut away these other portions right there. Interesting to think about. I don't know, maybe I don't need to overcomplicate it. I'm gonna go to the bathroom though for a minute, so I will be back in just a minute. I gotta take a break. I can get right back to it. So now that I have the lines in the circle coming in, the lines coming into the circle, I think the next thing I need to do is make a rectangle and rotate it appropriately to line up with these here to represent the rods that are actually coming in. The reason for that is once those are boy, this chair is in need of a replacement, I think. Once those rods are, or once those rectangles are in place, I can use them to basically cut away the portions of the circle that intersect with it, and then union the remainder kind of thing. I think I can make that work. Hopefully I can. I'll have to see what approach my brain will come up with. So first thing to do, excuse me. Right, you know what, here, let lines be the mapping of, wait, do I want to do that? Let points be map V. Into vector take 2. Oh wait, I could actually do drop last. Same thing. No, if I do take 2, that'll still work if I pass in 2D points by accident, or it'll work with 2 or 3D points. It's a little messy, but it's fine for what I need. Should be okay. So points is that transformation. Lines can then be map into this vector that already contains 0, 0, 0. Map into that vector the points. Oops, this. Wait, am I doing this right? Oh yeah, I have to do it this way. In fact, this is a little weird. This is a weird way to do it. Shouldn't I just do conj? Right, so if there's the list, I want to conj onto that collection the next point. That's what I need. Conj is a little more readable than that. Into would actually give the same result in this case, but conj, it makes more sense to me. So those are the lines. And then here, all I need to do is, instead of points, I can actually do lines, map, SVG line, or actually I could do map, apply SVG line to the list coming in. And that should be the same. No. Yeah. Keep forgetting stuff. You know, tired brain. Unfortunately, that's how it behaves sometimes. Okay, so now what I think I want to try to do is let's take one lines, and I'll just work with the first line here. Oh, so it's that one. So that's fine. That could be okay. So what I want to do is find the angle between the vertical. Well, hold that thought. Here, let's create the. Let's make a rectangle. Yeah, SVG/rectangle. The width is going to be 0.1875, and the height is going to be, let's do 2 inches for now. That height will be calculated later, but before that, that's good. So all I have to do, if I don't translate it at all, I want to see where it ends up. It should be centered around the origin, if I remember correctly. Style element, stroke, red, and fill, none. Okay. Yeah, so it is centered on the origin, which means, well, let's not worry about position yet. First, I want to worry about, actually no, I should worry first about position. So the position, all I want to do in this case, since it'll be oriented vertically, that's the way I want it to be. Actually, hold that thought again. No, I'll start with the vertical and I can go from there. So this SVG/translate can be 0 in the X and half of the height in the Y, which is going to be 1. And that moves it there. Oh, that's right. Y up is down when I'm thinking about the vertical orientation. It shouldn't matter technically, so that's fine. So using that, I should now be able to right, so now I want to try SVG/rotate. So let's hard code a value and see that it pivots. Ah, that's right. I forgot about that. It rotates about its own center point. Of course, that is not what I want. Shoot, I forgot about that. That is fine. It's just a tad tedious. Right. What to do in that case? I'm thinking. Oh, wait a second. Maybe this is a non-issue. Let me do this. Let me do 4. Let's make a function. Rectangle along some line, right? Which has Yeah, no, that should be fine. So let midpoint be SVG slash midpoint of the line. Ooh, wait, I'm going to assume line is still just points. A, B, like that. That's fine. And then here I actually just want to do F slash midpoint A, B. You know what? I'm just going to write it like this. Line points. No, line's fine. It's good enough for now. Okay, so that's the midpoint. Oh, and then the height is just F slash distance, apply distance to line, and that's the two values I need to be able to position and lengthen a line. So the next thing to do is actually produce let's do it this way. A, B, line. Break it down that way. Oh man, I don't know what the cleanest way to write these things is sometimes. It's a little bit frustrating. Or not frustrating, it causes me to doubt myself. That's more accurate to what's actually happening in my brain. So distance AB. So if we assume A is the first point, we need the midpoint, we need the height, and we need some angle, which is just going to be angle from points 2. And the points I need are going to be what? They'll be if we use a vertical as the assumed orientation of the rectangle, although I mean it's arbitrary, you could pick horizontal or you could pick vertical. It doesn't technically matter. Maybe it would make more sense to do horizontal. No, we'll stick with vertical for now. Stick with vertical. That's okay. So to do that, the angle from the points we need are going to, the points themselves will be B, A in the middle, and then the final point will be 0, 1, because it can be just a unit vector, but it's pointing in the Y direction. That's what we want. And we need A and B to be two-dimensional in this case. We don't, I'll assume they are, and that should be fine. And in theory, with those three things, I should be able to orient a rectangle appropriately. Pardon me. So let's give it a shot. It's just going to be thread last SVG slash rectangle with a width. Ah, right. So the rectangle, we've got the line and we still need the width. So we need to do that. Should make it width and the line. So the rectangle width is W and the rectangle height is H, which is calculated. And then it's just a matter of translating by to the midpoint of the line. So we need to do a SVG slash translate midpoint. We can break into MX, MY right away for simplicity, because here it's negative MX you have to wrap it in a vector, no big deal. Negative my, close it properly there. So that moves the so it's vertically placed at the centered at the origin, move the rectangle to the center of the line, and then calculate, in theory this angle is the correct angle of the line itself, and then you just rotate the rectangle about its new midpoint to that angle, and it should be lined up on that point. That's hopefully good. See if I'm right. It's always the question in my mind. Sometimes I'm not correct, so oops. So that is now, so that's just producing a rotated rectangle along some line. So to make it appear here, now what I want to do is this rectangle, instead I want it to just be, I don't need to do any of that. I also don't need to call the rectangle here. I want to call rectangle along, and the width I'm going to make the same, and I'm just going to pull the first line from lines to test it. Let's see if it works. Oh, I broke something. Right, if I refresh this, it's not going to show up. Right? Did it break? It did. Okay, let's see what the console tells us here. No item 2 in vector of length 2. Well, yes, it's indeed this distance function that is the problem. Right? Let's give that a shot. Oh, yep. Wait a second, where am I getting this error here? Does angle from points require 3D? I didn't think it did. Where am I going wrong? It's not the distance, is it? Shouldn't just be that, right? Maybe. Oh, I keep messing stuff up. Ugh. Yeesh. No. Wait, where does it? Midpoint, is it? No, that should be fine. What's the deal here? Distance should also work. Yeah, okay. It's not this, is it? Oh. Try that now. There we go. Now they match. Okay. So this, I shouldn't need to do this. Like I thought this was fine. This is fine. Likewise here, B, A, and 0, 1. Okay, that should all work, right? That should be fine. Let's close this and try to... Ooh, okay, that's close, but wrong. I can live with that, because it looks like... Ooh, is it actually going to recalculate? There we go, okay. Nearly there, it looks like. So rectangle, let's cut off the rotate and see if it moves to the right spot. It doesn't. It should be here. So do I have to translate it exactly to the midpoint? I think maybe that's correct. Does that make sense? I guess it does. So in that case, I can even simplify this here. So let's put M that, we'll just do it that way. Yes, and now, oop, does this, okay, so it's just inverse. So, wait a second. Do I have to maybe do this way then? Just swap this one with this one. Does that give me the right angle? Yes, it does. Cool. So now let's see if that works for all of those. So instead of this, I want to do, instead of take one lines here, whoop. Come on, let's just do it this way. Lines. Okay. Okay. This, I don't know why I'm doing it this way. Lines. Okay, so for lines, map this function rectangle along with that width, and along the line there. Ooh, pardon me, it is a tired day over here. That should draw the rectangles, and then I just want to put them into a group, into G, and then style it with the same style. Ooh, bad news, bad news. Well, that's a bit of a shame. Scale this thing down a little bit, hey? See what we can see here. Oh no! Okay, so in every case, I've got the wrong angle. Okay. Well, I can work with that. It's just a matter of I'm sorting it out. Right. Man, I was hoping for an easy win there. Not today, my friend. Not today. Huh. Well, I totally thought I had it. That's stepping in the right direction. So you see here, on these two here, the angle should be basically greater than, excuse me, the angle should be, it should be plus 180 in those cases. So I believe if I do this, make it along X, well, now they're all wrong by 90 degrees, so that's obviously a non-issue there. It's just if I were to do A equals 180 plus that result, so I shift it all around 180, two of them will be right. Oh, wait a second, what am I saying? Apparently I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, there we go, minus 180, my bad. So, right. I thought I had this one, I thought that angle from points 2 would have had this solved. Clearly it doesn't. Well, that's a bummer. Real bummer, dude. Okay, let me think about it for a second. Oh, you know what? It is possible that angle from points 2 well, let's draw the rectangle with the height and width flipped. It's close, but it's wrong. Where did I go wrong? This shouldn't make any difference, right? I really hope it doesn't. Okay, that's good at least. Yeah, none of those permutations actually make any sense, except A should be in the middle. Right, so the angle in this case is being calculated like this. So there, and then this angle. And it's always from the second leg to the first. So it's always turning this way. So it should be you should have 1, 0 last. You should have A in the middle, and you should have B first. Because then it'll measure from the vertical to B in a counterclockwise direction, which is what you want, or is the convention I chose. Why wrong? Question mark. Sorry, I just don't quite know where I don't know why it's off. Although it does look like it is off equivalently, but it's still turning incorrectly here. Oh, wait a second. Is angle from points 2, does it return radians? I don't know. No, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't, because some of them are correct. Let's see. 2 degree. Okay. I'm losing my mind. Might have to call it for the day, to be honest. All right, forge, angle from points. Where did angle from points 2 go? It's in here somewhere, right? Okay. Oh, what am I doing here? See this? So this is my mistake here, I believe, if I'm following correctly here. So I should do 2 degrees here, because I am already assuming yeah. I convert it to degrees sometimes, but not other times. I'm just being reckless, if you will. That's what you call not good. Yikes. Okay, that is my mistake. Okay. In that case, now here I don't need to convert this 2 degrees, and everything else should work. We will see very quickly. I will see very soon. That does mean if I change this, I shouldn't need to convert it to radians, and I should save this now. Gotta try, oh, did it break? Let's see. No. Okay, now I see if changing this is necessary. Now, let's see, 180 minus this whole thing. Still no. Still no. did I do? So in all of these cases, yeah, now, so a tan 2 returns a radians thing, and I do 2 degrees for that. So theta A and theta B are now always in degrees. So for all these conditions, they'll return their degrees plus the appropriate thing. And now it should work. Yes? I think that makes sense. I'm pretty sure that's correct. If I should maybe consider leaving all the angle things in radians, and it's up to the user to change it to degrees. I'm not sure what's actually better. I feel like they should probably be radians, but I don't know. Let's also get the orientation of this correct again, and try to sort it out from this 360 minus that. Yeah, nothing. 180. Oh, whoa, what's going on now? Did I break it again? Let's see. 90. Is it just not calculating the quadrants appropriately? It's possible. That's possible, right? Nope, not what I meant. Rotating 180 technically means nothing. Wait a second. Yeah, see, that makes sense. Because I'm just rotating it and then undoing the rotate. Obviously, that's ridiculous. Okay, so that is almost nothing in this case. So what's the deal? So let's get back to, let's just make the minus and all that stuff disappear here. So the angle following the right hand rule from P3, P2. So from 1, 0, from 1, 0 to 0, 0 to A, 0, 0, B, which is some number, right? Is that, yeah, that is right. So that is some angle that it's rotating around. Okay, so it looks as if this is inverted from, oops, from what it needs to be. If I do this, does that fix that? I don't think it should. Yeah, no. I am lost in my own thoughts and code and everything here. I'll get up and stand and walk around for a minute. I'll be right back. All right, I can't really stay much longer, so I'm just gonna try sort this thing out quickly and then get a move on. should be able to run the function quadrant, right, on each of these. Oop. Oh no. What happened? There. So, quadrant should take just a point. So let's imagine the point 2, 3. Oh, which is this point here. Let's do -5, -2. Oh. So that's quadrant 3. That shouldn't make a difference, right? No, because A happens to be at 0, 0. It's just the angles that are wrong. That's the whole thing here. That's the only thing that's messing me up. And it's almost right here. It's just off because obviously. I really thought this would be a nice, easy one. Nice, easy win. Not quite. Not quite. Well, you know what? Probably this does mean it's a good time for me to go because I'm just not getting anywhere useful. If I do A plus 90, oops. Yeah, obviously not correct. Oh. That's my bad. This doesn't actually become more accurate, does it? I sure hope not. Oh, I keep... There. Okay. This plus 45 is obviously not right. I was just messing around. Okay. This shouldn't work because this should mess it up technically. And it does. It's fine. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I really thought this was correct. Okay. Think for just a minute about what could be happening here. So SVG rotate definitely does require degrees. So that angle from points 2 now does return a degrees value, right? That it does, doesn't it? Let's see here. So let's actually take some point. Actually, let's do this. Let's do f/angle from. Why is it doing that? Come on. There. f/angle from points 2. And the points are -1, 0.2, 0, 0, 1, 0. Why did that go wrong? Maybe this. 182 degrees is wrong, right? Because it should in fact be 90, right? Oh. Did I mess something else up? Where is this? No. This is 0. This is 1. First of all, that's that. And then this is nothing. I'm just double checking. Yeah, okay. So you have to actually multiply it by -1. Is that that? It's not right, is it? It's correct for this one, but it's not correct for the other ones. So that means something's wrong with these, I assume. Right? I guess my logic about these must be a little bit flawed. So I'll have to check that because this is kind of important. Really, it's yeah, it is. It's quite important. So well, okay. Now I know what I have to do next, and I do know that it's also time for me to go. So I am going to go. So in terms of the code I wrote today, one thing I am happy with is I have way more confidence in how I can actually execute my desk design, and I basically need it to be ready for the weekend so that I can build it, because I want to have the desk before Christmas if I can pull that off. The other thing I'm really happy about is just this art piece in general. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It was a lot of fun to do, and actually gives me a nice little set of ideas for maybe some new sort of, call it sculpture, that I could design over time. And I'm really quite stoked for that. And that's all I've got for this stream. So anyone who tuned in at all, thanks for that. Anyone who watches this after the fact, thanks as well. Anyone who's interested can help this channel out by, financially on Patreon. But at the moment, probably what's more important is to spread the word with people who might enjoy watching design and programming, and just enjoy company while they work and just want to chat with me about projects and things like that. Consider doing that yourself, following, and consider sharing it around. That would be a lot of fun. In the meantime, I'm gonna get going to the gym, and I hope everyone has a good day.